the more you come to think of it, that in fact, in reality, you are empty. You feel that emptiness come closer in your awareness, and that means that the fullness of your life, the surroundings, the attachments, the things that make you a person, that they go loosen themselves. You start to feel that you are really very attached to things, and you feel that they will disappear, the things that you are attached to. It's just like the rhythm of the day, the simple thing. You are used to do this at that moment. In the midday you are used to do this. In the evening you are normally, well, for me then, having my coffee, my TV, and some music or so. And then you say good night to the ones that you love, and the teacher, the guru, when you pray, and then you sleep, and the next day it's the same rhythm, but that will go away, and you see your family around you. You have to get loose of that too, because that all is influencing you to stay as a person in the world. It's all surroundings of the empty core that you are. And when you feel that is going away, there is a sort of sadness, because now it is really serious. If you are just like you always were, and you are learning, this is not real, this is only a dream, but you still go on in the dream as if it is real. And then more and more this truth comes closer, but still you are in that personal life. And then all of a sudden, like that, it is getting serious. If you want to be free, and that's what you want, that's the why you were born. If you really want to be free and be the real self, there is no escape from staying in prison, because that's prison. That's what keeps you here on earth in your person. That is your habit, the things you do every day, the way you see things, the way the time passes, what you do in the time, if you fill up the hours, the way you go with your family on birthdays and things like that. It keeps you in this form, which you are not. And that's why you have been searching and seeing movies and videos and books and teachings of the guru. You went to see the guru, and all that was for that one goal, to be free of all. And now it is coming nearby. You feel it. Yeah, when you are still the person and you feel this bliss of happiness. That's so great. Nothing can compare. But when you on the other side really feel you are coming loose of all those things that keep you here, there is still a little bit of sadness. All the things that you loved and that you took care of and that you lived for, it will disappear. Really. But what will never disappear is you, yourself. And you will be encompassing all, you will be all pervading, and still you will be the witness of it, the awareness. You are aware of you with your family, and you are aware that you are growing back to the emptiness of yourself, and you leave the family. You are aware of all that, but it is with the sensation of sort of loss. That's the ego, that is the last, what you call it, noise, or what the ego makes. Ego is gone, is far gone, and still there is this echo of the ego that makes you feel a bit of you are sad that it is going, and with it all that makes you that person, that certain person that you thought you were, it is going, with all that was keeping you in that form. You are losing form. That means you are losing all the forms that kept you in the form. It's now serious. It is a happiness, a little sad happiness. Yeah. That doesn't mean that the people you love are not coming anymore, but there is this sort of freedom between. You will not influence them anymore, and you will not be influenced by them anymore. There is something, you are more like the ocean now instead of the waves. And still the wave is the ocean. What is going on? It is strange, this feeling. It is really touching the eternity, the immortality that you are. Blessed are the ones that can come so far. Everybody will. And I give you all the love and the blessings of the world and of the gods and of the heavens to become your own free self. And maybe this sadness that you feel when you really experience the getting free of all, that feeling of a little sadness, maybe it is just a memory, because you have had this many times before in your lives with that form of body that you had and that family that you had. They were as close as you then as they are now. And the rhythm of the day and the habits and the things that made you that person that you think you are now, in the other lives you had that same experience. You were, because you had not yet this teachings of the guru, you were so sure that you were that body in that time with that family, and you had to bear the loss and the sadness of leaving that, and that must have been much more painful because you didn't know that this all is a dream. Now in this very life, this life is teaching you the reality of what is, that all is a dream. But before you were at this level of consciousness, you had this growth in all forms of your bodies to this being now, and the other forms you had no idea there were, that you thought all was real, so you had to suffer very strong to leave it behind every time and again when you died, when you left the body. And there must be a lot of bones spread over the world and ashes of your former forms. And now you can laugh about it, but when you left it at that time, you were very upset. I'm sure I remember dyings were not pleasant. And now you really know this is the last time. For sure you will leave everything behind. And now these are words, but when you start to feel these words, and you see around you the nature and the sky, and you know there will be a time that you will not see this again. So enjoy it now, but don't be attached. You know all is temporary. Temporarily, well, it's not lasting. So this is very double. You feel a little sad and you feel a lot of happiness, because this freedom is overwhelming blissful, and it's coming. It's coming in your appearance, in your experience. You will feel it. It's good that you surrender to God, and God knows how to guide you and to guard you. He will guide you to the light of love, the eternal, immortal being that you are, free of all attachments with what life gave you. So once again I say, be happy, be happy. All the others that you will say goodbye to, they will merge in that same blissful field of bliss with you. There will be an ocean of bliss. So you think you will lose the loved ones, but they will merge with you in that state of bliss. So happy, happy, happy. Once you understand that all is the divine will, all that takes place is the will of God, it gives you a feeling of freedom, because it's not your doing. You know, everything happens as it is planned by the God, the all-knowing. So you are free. But still, things happen in the day on which you react. That's to say, there's something that you try to change because it's not nice. It's difficult for somebody you want to help, and it doesn't work. So you feel not good because you thought it is all the will of God, and still I am not feeling okay with what is happening. It will not work. I cannot surrender enough to feel good. I cannot change because things keep on happening while I don't like it. I cannot do anything about it. And then God says, true, it happens as it is my will, and you cannot do anything about it. because it is not you anymore. It is my doing. It is my doing that things happen this way. It's my plan. And that you don't feel good about it is also my doing. It's not yours. You are like a leaf falling from the tree, blown here and there as I command. And the leaf of the tree cannot do a single thing about it. If it is falling on a nice meadow with flowers around, or in the snow and in the mud, and maybe the leaf doesn't like it, but there is nothing in the leaf that can change it. So when you don't feel good about things that happen, it is my doing. I want it that way. You like to help somebody and it doesn't work and you don't feel good about it. You feel that you are not good enough. But there is no you anymore that can feel good or good enough. It is all my doing, whatever takes place. And now be in peace. That is my wish. So even if I don't feel good, there is not the selfish person that wants to change that. It is just the will of God that is taking place. If you don't like something, it's not your wish or not wanting it. You are the leaf of the tree blown in the wind. Free in all forms of being that you are, in all forms and emotions. It is your freedom that God makes you feel that way. Accept what He is giving you. You understand more and more and more and deeper and deeper and deeper. That is not that the life will change and there will nothing happen anymore. But you will see deeper and deeper that there is no you that can change anything. In the early days you thought you could change it, and now you feel that you cannot change it. That's the only difference. All is the doing of God. Even your feelings of shortcoming. It's not your doing. You are a leaf in the wind, or a cloud in the sky, or a wave on the ocean, blown and moved around. That's God in you, moving you. Be willing. There's even no you anymore that can be willing. It's all God. Thank you. Thank you. We search for liberation, for freedom, but there is no one captured. There is only freedom, but it is the consciousness that will be liberated. Consciousness is imprisoned, is limited by the feeling this is not possible, this is not good, this should not be, it should be different. That is consciousness that is limited by its own ignorance. And the only freedom to be found is that consciousness is not limited. Consciousness is not imprisoned. Consciousness is freedom. It's not. It has no borders. It has no limitations. It has all possibilities. That is being liberated. It's not about a person. The person is just the tool of consciousness. If consciousness says to you, oh, that's not possible, then your body will not act, because it believes the limitations of its own consciousness. If the consciousness in you says, go, you will see it will work, the body will act and it will work, because limitation is cut through in your mind. Everything happens in your mind and the body is just obeying. If you say, the consciousness in you is down and it's not open, and it says to you, oh, it's no use, then the body will sit, I'm so poor one, nothing works. But then the consciousness is what you call it, dormant. It is asleep. It's not working in the right way. Liberation is when there is no border anymore. Limitation is liberation, is not limited. So liberation is unlimited consciousness. And that what knows all this is the awareness that sees the struggle from the body, that believes the limitations of the consciousness. Body is down, I'm not feeling well, I'm not good, it will not work. But it is all your own mind. And the awareness that is free of all that awareness is the divine state of being. It is the ultimate freedom. You call it God, and God is aware of the person who thinks it is limited and it is a suffering. And then God says, it is not you suffering. It is my will that this is being experienced. I, unlimited awareness in you, is experiencing limitations, so that I, unlimited awareness in you, can experience unlimited awareness. So you are just the tool, like you are the tool of the mind that says, oh, it will not work, I cannot do it, and the body will say, oh, nothing works. Then the body is the tool of that consciousness that says it will not work. But this is all my will, says unlimited awareness, God. Because God wants to experience unlimited awareness. He is it, but he acts as if it is not so. So there is nothing you can do, just flow like the leaf on the ground. Flow where the wind will take it. And you are the tool of the God who discovers his own unlimitless self. He is that, and he plays through you He plays. And you are free. If God says you are limited, you are free in that feeling. It's not yours, you're doing. And if God says you are unlimited, then it is not your doing, it is again God experiencing that. It is a road without moving. There are no steps on this way. You are not changing from place. No. There is the understanding that all is His will, and that is this unlimited awareness, and that's what you are. Even if you are being played as being imprisoned, that is the play of that unlimited possibility. Everything is possible. Nothing to do but just be and understand that you can do nothing about it. That's freedom, that's unlimited understanding. So whatever is taking place, it is not yours. It is consciousness growing to its own opening. And you might say, well, it's not mine, but I feel it. And in a way that is true, but that is because your consciousness says that it is your feeling. And you know, the body listens to the consciousness. So when your consciousness says, I don't feel good, I don't feel happy, the body says, registrates the order, and the body says, I don't feel happy. But if you know that it is not yours, you are the instrument, you couldn't even feel bad. But because you think you are the person, when you feel bad and you know it is God's doing, well, give it to God. Give this unhappy feeling to the God inside, to the great open awareness. And awareness is not bothered by what is taking place in its own play of consciousness. Yeah, gone with the wind. You are a leaf falling from the tree, blowing in the wind. You might feel unhappy, but you know that is the experience of the consciousness inside that grows to its own endless possibility. So you don't need to feel unhappy. Even if the feeling is there, you can say, okay, it's not mine, it is from the consciousness. And the consciousness is that which is God growing to Himself, itself, awareness, emptiness. Still you are here in this form, but it is not you in this form, it is consciousness in this form. And it is not your person that feels it, but the consciousness of the great God being that is aware of all this. So there is a sort of button that switches from person to God. But there isn't a button and there is no person, it is only God. only your mind is used to disappear in the body, and the body is obeying the mind. So here is the turning point. It is God, and he is feeling all this, but he doesn't mind. And your mind does, but that is the play of God. He plays that he is the mind. So it is his work, his doing. You are free. Even when you feel not happy, that is the freedom that you are. Let it be. As usual, this morning I offered my day to God. I said thank you for this night and thank you for this day. So whatever comes, it is his day. And I thought, well, God, you experience a lot of days every time in all those living beings. He said, you too. When I speak to someone, I experience my day, what is happening, the conversation, but also I experience that day of the one I am speaking with. And that's the unity where God is pointing at, that only one exists. I speak to someone, that's my experience. But what the other is thinking and answering is his experience, but also mine. Because there is a connection, and it's clear. It's a clear thing that you both experience the same things. Even if you don't agree with each other, you experience that both. So you are that one that experience it. Here, you there, but it is the same experience. And in that way I thought, wow, God, you experience a lot of all creatures, of the ant that is walking in the grass, and of the bird in the nest laying eggs. That's for your experience. And of the dog barking, and of the fish in the ocean going through the waves, and of the fisherman that catches the fish, and you experience the happiness of the fisherman that is happy to have this fish caught to go to the market and have money and feed the family. And you experience every raindrop coming from the clouds touching your earth, and you experience every sprout of the plants that grow by this rain and the warmth of the sun. You experience all that. And the friends to go to school together, and the one having a present and the other not having a present. You experience every single thing in existence. You too, he says. Take each day as a gift from God. It's the only thing worthwhile. Taking the life as a present of the God in you. And all will be well. You could say it seems there are two lives or experiences or energies. That is true, because there's dualism. But in fact, it's all one. Even the imagination of God is God, and even the experiences that God experiences in those imagination is God, and even you being aware of all that is God, and the awareness is God, and all the feelings and emotions in all the subjects on earth where you are the witness and the experiencer from or of. I am the experiencer of all happenings in the world. That means there is no dualism at all. It is God. God in that way visible, and then that way, that certain way of visibility drops away, because it is all one experience. What remains is God. God without all those experiences that seem to take place. It is just one being. It is all is God, or all is you. If you read a book, a fairy tale of a little girl going into the woods and picking mushrooms, and there is darkness and she lost the way. Well, that is a fairy tale, but you experience it. The girl experiences it, but she is just a story. And you experience that story through that girl, which is written in a book. So it is not true that girl in the woods, but the experience remains. That's to say, there is always only one. The fantasy falls away of that one, but the one remains. So all that you experience in the day is not about the experiencing things, not the details, but that it is the one visible and experiencing the one. Whether it is an exam for schools, or it is a bird in the tree laying an egg, that is all detail of the one experience, that is the existence of the one in that visible form. The forms pass, the time passes, the experiences pass, all goes by, but that one, that is the one, the witness, the experiencer of it, that remains, and it is always there. And then there are no more stories needed to realize that there is only one experiencing being. There's only one existence. And it doesn't matter how it exists, in what way, and in what side of the world, and what form. All that drops away, and what remains is the one that is the one experiencer, and that one experiences the self, because that self is in all the forms experiencing things on the world. That one is in the ant walking in the grass, and it is in the bird in the tree laying an egg, and in the fish, and in the ones going to school, and even in the one girl in the woods in the story searching for mushrooms. That doesn't matter if it is written in a book or written in the imagination of the one, because it is all experienced as imagination. There remains nothing but that only one that exists always, and that's you. That's God. There's no difference in world, in stories, in fairy tales, in day, in night. It is all the same experience as the visible and experienced existence. There are no billions that are existing. There is only one existence, and existence is is exit. It comes out of that God being. It is coming out. The whole creation, whatever forms. Don't lose your attention in the details of forms. It is all one existence, one coming out of the good Lord, the God, the love, the self-being. You experience that existence. But you don't have to go with it out anymore to experience. It is your real self, only self that exists, and it is not exist but in-ist. It is in. It's not necessary to go out anymore to find yourself, because all is that one self. This is God, and you say thank you God in the morning, and you say thank you God in the evening, because you still believe you are in this existence. And then this good Lord, the God, the love takes all over. Don't worry, be happy, he says. It is his doing. You are so free as can be. You are that self that went out and came back in its own happiness. There's only one, and that is love. Love the beloved. So good to be home. Wherever you are home. It's your own self. Of course, all imagination of this world is God's himself, or you, yourself, your own true real self. It's the imagination that is seen, and the proof of that imagination that it is the same, that means when you look in the mirror, you see your own imagination. It is not someone else. What you see in the mirror is your own being. Take the mirror away, but keep on looking, and then you see the world. That's the same as the reflection of the mirror that reflects yourself. In the same way, this world that you see reflects yourself. And that is how God sees us, because he is everywhere, the one looking. And as you know God and you yourself are that same, it means that you are that one seeing all in the world. It doesn't matter how it looks. Don't lose yourself in details. Then you become a detail yourself. See it from the eyes of that oneness looking at the world. The same way as you see from the eyes from this one, you see your own face in the mirror. You see yourself. It's your imagination that you see. Not only in the mirror as your face, but in the whole world. You see yourself. And it's just imagination of yourself. So don't bother to go everywhere and discover things. That's detail. Once you know the story of the book is closed. You don't need to look again to return to a page. Oh, what was it again? Oh yes, I remember. Did I read? Yes, I remember. Oh, don't do that. Stay as the observer when you are still in this body. Stay as the one eternal witness, awareness of that what comes out of yourself. You are aware of your own imagination. God is aware of his own imagination. There's no difference between the self that you are and the God that you are. And the whole world is that what shows yourself, that you are that self. Be happy. And while these words are spoken, then this voice that is, I speak, but it's the wisdom in me, the God in me speaks. But I feel and I am aware of you hearing it and receiving that wisdom. So while I am speaking, I experience you listening, and I experience the joy that you have when it's opening and making things clear, that the oneness is really one. I experience you listening and receiving this, because there is only one that gives and one that receives is the same. It's the same experience of giving and receiving. It is simultaneously. It is love going all directions and never losing an atom of itself. It is love where we are in. And who speaks and who listens, that's the same one. The bliss and the joy of understanding what you are is only one blissful experience. Cannot be cut in billions parts. Bliss is that what we are inside, we feel it. There's not my bliss and your bliss. It's not my joy and your joy. It is joy in all. There's not my God and your God. It is God in all, God as all. This is only one. Leave the words behind. Words are form. Be formlessly merging in love. There is your place, my place. There is no your or mine. This is the utmost blissful feeling that a person can. The heart will explode when there comes more. But we silently, slowly, we will be we will be growing, adjusted. We will be slowly adjusted to this enormous, endless ocean of love. It will not be there all at once. It is just expanding from the inner. You feel it, huh? That's why I say thank you, God, in the morning. And whatever day He gives, whatever happens, I say thank you for this day. Even if it didn't start yet. And there is the bliss is rolling over you. Be happy, be happy. For it's in giving that we receive, and it's in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it's in dying that we are born to eternal life. It is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Lord, make me an instrument. Oh, thy peace. Lord, make me an instrument. Oh, thy peace. For it's in giving that we receive, and it's in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it's in dying that we are born to eternal life. It is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Lord, make me an instrument.